There is a special feeling you get here in Switzerland. It's not only the mountains and the lakes, it's the little things. The sound of cowbells in the fields, a piece of real Swiss chocolate, or the precision of a watch on your wrist. Here, quality isn't something extra, it's simply part of everyday life. And that same spirit of precision is what drives Swiss companies like Maxon forward. As PMU artists, precision is everything. Every movement we make on a client's skin matters, because a real person trusts us with their face. That's why we look for tools we can truly rely on. Tools that feel as comfortable as possible. Almost like an extension of our own hands. So we can focus fully on creating beautiful results. The secret of this new machine isn't just in a design or how comfortable it feels in your hand. It's about what's inside, the heart of the machine. And to really understand that, I had to come here, to the source. Hi everyone, we just arrived to Sachsen in Switzerland and we are here today because I would like to talk to the guys behind the Maxon motor, because Maxon is a new motor in a Clinita machine and I would like to learn more about it today, so let's go. Before we go inside, let's talk about the basics. How does a PMU machine actually work? At its core, it's a beautifully simple concept. A machine's motor creates a rotational movement like a wheel spinning. That spinning motion is transformed into a straight up and down movement, the motion that drives the needle. The motor's job is to perform this hundreds or even thousands of times per minute with absolute consistency. This way, the pigment goes right where it should, with fewer passes making the process not only efficient, but also giving us a more beautiful result and delivering more pigment into the skin. If the motor is weak or inconsistent, you get uneven pigment delivery, more trauma to the skin and patchy results. And that trauma doesn't just happen in the moment, it directly affects how the skin heals. More trauma means worse healing, and worse healing means the final result won't be good enough. Inconsistent pigment delivery shows up later as lighter and darker spots after healing. That's why there is nothing more fundamental than having a strong, reliable motor in your machine. And that brings us to Maxon. This isn't just any motor company. When you walk onto their campus, you realize this is a place of serious innovation. Maxon doesn't just make motors for tattoo machines. They make drive systems for some of the most demanding applications on Earth and beyond. And how it actually happened that your motors are in Mars? Like, how NASA discovered you?
Actually, it was not NASA, it was the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. There's a lab that works together with NASA, of course. And at that time, in the 1990s, they wanted to have this rover and they were looking for motors. And it worked. The only thing what they did is they changed the lubrication. Because lubrication for vacuum and very low and high temperature needs to be a little bit special. So that was the only change, and all the other was really a standard motor. The original motor was about 16 millimeters, it was about this size, an older version of that one, and it worked.
Think about that for a second. That same technology that survives the launch of a rocket travels for months through space and keeps working perfectly on another planet. That's the level of engineering we now hold in our hands. And it doesn't just stop here. These motors are also used in life-saving medical devices, where even the smallest failure is simply not an option.
Tiny motors are used in medical type of business.
This is the world Maxon operates in. Heart implants, insulin pumps and so on. A world of absolute perfection and precision. And that's why Clinita chose them. So, I wanted to understand what makes this specific motor, the one inside the machine, really special. I sat down with one of their technical specialists to find out. So right now we are in the Maxon headquarters and we are lucky to have Urs here with us, and he's going to tell us about the motor in a Clinita. So I am really excited to learn about it now. Thank you so much for the interview.
You're welcome. Why do customers end up with a relatively expensive Maxon motor or Maxon drive system? The reason is they want to have it small, lightweight and powerful. So typically a handheld tool, like your pen. So you don't want to have a heavy motor in there and then all the thing around, so it's difficult to work. But you want to have it something tiny as this, what is it, 12 millimeter motor? I think that's the one you have in your device.
Small, light and powerful. For us, that means less hand fatigue and better ergonomics, allowing us to work for hours with complete control.
So we have our very special Maxon Coreless winding, and we use the most powerful magnets. The advantage of our design is that the winding, as you can see, has no core, so it's empty in the inside. That's where we can place the really strong magnets, and that's different to a conventional design.
A traditional motor has an iron core, which limits its power. Maxon's Coreless design allows them to use incredibly strong magnets. For us, this translates to torque.
Essentially what you need is a certain amount of force, or actually it's a rotational force, so it's torque in a motor, but it's a little bit equivalent, and then you need a certain amount of speed. So just let's assume that you want to run a motor at a certain speed and at a certain torque. Or typically, if you want to accelerate something, then you need a little bit more torque, so you speed up something like that. So this would then all be operation points, or maybe you have different operation points at a lower speed, lower torque, or up here or wherever. You have to find a motor that can cover all these operation points without overheating, without getting too hot.
Speed is how fast the needle cycles. Torque is its strength to keep cycling when the skin pushes back. It's what's allowed the needle to penetrate the skin smoothly and consistently, even when we are working on more difficult skin types or when we change speeds. If a machine doesn't have enough power, the needle struggles to deliver pigment. That forces us to go over the same area again and again, which not only makes the procedure longer and less efficient, but also causes more trauma to the skin. With a high torque motor, it's completely different story. The pigment gets implanted right away, at the right depth, with fewer passes. That means shorter procedures, less trauma, and far better healed results. And this becomes even more important when we are working with pigments that have soft binders or thicker consistencies. Without enough torque, low speeds can actually cause the needle to drag or even tear the skin. It just keeps running smoothly, giving us clean, precise, and efficient work every single time. Understanding the technology is one thing, but seeing where it's made is another one. Maxon gave us a private tour of their manufacturing floor, and it was incredible. For proprietary reasons, we couldn't film everything, but the level of precision and attention to detail is simply incredible.
We don't want to show how it's made because the way of producing it is a little bit...
You get the sense that every person here understands the gravity of their work. They know that this tiny motor might end up in a surgical robot, or on another planet, or in the hands of an artist creating brows on someone's face.
Interesting thing also is because our products are high-end products. So typically what we can do, or we can help our customer to develop new high-end products. So we're also really at the head of the market.
You are part of the success of the product, right?
Yeah.
Because motor is really important part of it.
Yeah.
My journey here to Switzerland started with the question: what makes the Clinita new machine so special? The answer is very clear for me now. It's about trust. Trust in Swiss engineering that's proven to work even in the harshest conditions. And in our hands, that translates into the most beautiful results and a perfectly made machines that lets us focus fully on our work without worries. Precision, power, and peace of mind. That's the Maxon promise, and that's the Clinita's advantage. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey.